crew? Welcome back to the It's Not Fake Fancast. Again, we're a fancast. We're not a podcast. Podcasts are reserved for journalists. We're not journalists. We're not bookers. We're not agents. We're not producers. We're not wrestlers. We're not insiders. And we don't own shit. We are fans. And we spent our time, energy, effort, and money for decades on something we love, which is professional wrestling. And now we are spending time with you, the fans, because we are fans. Today, we have a special episode for you. It is that time again, another pay-per-view, right? Impact Rebellion. Let's go. Yo, this might be the most important pay-per-view in a long time. So let me introduce you to the crew. Let's get started. Malakin B. Jones, content guru, producer extraordinaire. Man named so cool, he don't need a nickname. Let's go. What's up, brother?
So what's going on? I'm ready to run this card down. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And I am your host again, Ahmad the Dark Show. And if you don't like my nickname, I will pluck one of your eyeballs out and play ping pong with them shits. Speaking of ping pong, there's only two of us tonight. My blood, my brother, my cousin, Darkness, Naj couldn't be on tonight. And my tag team partner could not be on tonight. Reg, a.k.a. Antonio Marks, the Marksman. We call him the Marksman because he's a grown man. John Cena fan. Do. Can't be here tonight either. So, Chimby, it's just me and you anyway. You know what, though? I'm going to talk about something real quick. Out of the four of us, those two motherfuckers don't watch fucking Impact. We do. In fact, I've never stopped watching Impact. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that brought all y'all back to Impact. And thankfully for you, you're just a hardcore fucking wrestling fan that felt like you had to not only watch everything, but you invented the Fantasy Wrestling League and kept track of everything for 3 seasons or 4 seasons.
It was 3 seasons, almost
seasons.
4, and it was just a lot of work, yo. It was a lot of work.
So it's only right. It's only right that me and you are going to preview this card, and let's go, yo.
Absolutely. Let's get to it. So the main event, title versus title, because we're going to break the card down like that. We're going to go from the top to the bottom. Title versus title, Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann, the AEW champion versus Impact champion, belt for belt.
Whether this has happened in some time in wrestling history before, or this is the first time it's happening, this is a monumental, epic moment in the annals of wrestling lore, period. We're coming off, in my opinion, the best WrestleMania in the last 3 years. We're also coming off some of the most important and best matches in WrestleMania history just last week. So not only are we getting a cross-brand championship match, we're getting a dual title cross-brand championship match. Impact title for and against the AEW title. I'm going to say 2 things real quick, and I'm going to kick it to you real quick because I have more to say, but I want to hear your opinion, but I'm going to say 2 things real quick, Jim. God damn, if this don't take me back to the territory days when you had the Mid-Atlantic title, the Georgia South title, the fucking world-class title, the AWA title. They weren't world titles because Ric Flair was the NWA world champion, and he would defend his title against that territory's champion. Imagine that. Imagine somebody having wrestling's title and going to defend that title against the best region's champion. And I'm not saying repeat the territory era because we're in modern wrestling.
Yeah, but they've done this before a long time ago.
Hold on 1 second. I know, but hold on 1 second. Didn't they just merge the Intercontinental title and the IWGP World Grand Prix title into one belt?
Yes, they did.
And isn't John Moxley still the IWGP champion? U.S. champion, they still have a relationship, and they just merged the title there. So that title is more prestigious than ever before. I always say that the New Japan title is the second most prestigious championship in modern wrestling. Now they're going to merge one champion. So we have a territory. So that's like Ric Flair going to World Class to fight Kerry Von Erich, and Kerry Von Erich beating Ric Flair in Texas. We can talk about, that's a story for another show. And Kerry Von Erich beating Ric Flair in Texas for the NWA World Title, and having both world titles, that was cool. But how about if Ric Flair went down there and beat Kerry Von Erich and took the World Class title off of him? So now Ric Flair is going around collecting titles around the country and territories. Not saying that's going to happen. What I'm saying is we're embarking on new ground. We're breaking new ground only because, and that's why I preface this with, even though it might have happened before, and it doesn't matter if this is the first time it's happening, like, fuck that shit. This is new ground because follow my vision. If Kenny Omega wins, and he will, the Impact World title, the best belt machine, you know what I'm saying? Top 5, dead or alive. He's the Jadakiss of wrestling. Kenny Omega is. He has both titles. He has 2 of the top 4. We talked about the top 4, didn't we?
Yes, we have.
WWE, New Japan, AEW, and Impact.
Mm-hmm.
That is the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the hockey of wrestling.
Yes, NHL.
Yes, sir. I said NHL. Like, so Impact is hockey.
Yes.
And AEW is the NBA.
Okay, I'll give you that.
No, I'm wrong. It's baseball. Because the NFL is WWE. The NBA is New Japan. Okay? Baseball is AEW. Making a comeback, something new, whatever the fuck, however you want to look at it. Hockey is Impact, right? Ring of Honor is soccer. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, Kenny Omega is conquering 2 of the big 4. And he's going to have those titles and be able, and hopefully Tony Khan and AEW's and to a farther extent, John Moxley and Chris Jericho's relationship with New Japan can help mend the fences of Kenny Omega's relationship with New Japan, and they can appear him in a match, right?
I mean, it goes that far down the road, but that's a long time away. I mean,
so not only that, so see the vision. Picture the lights. Kenny Omega comes back to New Japan for the first time in years after everybody knows the history about the fractured relationship. He shows up there in Wrestle Kingdom 2022 with the Impact and AEW merged championship, because by then they'll have a belt. Because those companies, Tony Khan gonna buy it, he gonna buy Impact, they're gonna merge the titles. The undisputed American champion outside of WWE versus the champion of New Japan for both belts. Yo, that pay-per-view would shut down wrestling. That will break wrestling paper. It will break the internet, as they would say. I'm just saying, see the vision. I'm just talking shit.
I don't see that vision.
I'm not discounting Rich Swann. Rich Swann is not winning this match because of everything I just fucking said. There's no way. You miss out on everything I just said and more, or whatever they're planning. You can't do that shit with Rich Swann.
I mean, maybe here's what I think happens.
Go ahead, Chimby, talk your shit.
First thing could be Omega win. Like 3 things could happen. Omega just wins. Okay, he looks great again. He has both belts, big thing. You know, you got the Bull Club there and all that stuff. Second thing happens is Swan wins, and everybody freaks the hell out and is like, "Wait a second!" And seeing Tony Khan's face, you know, Tony Khan might be there. Seeing his face be shocked up.
Stop, Chimby. I'm gonna ask you. This is what I
need.
Wait. No,
I
need from you. No. You wait. I need something from you right now. You're the only motherfucker on this planet who thinks Rich Swann is going to win. I need to know why you think he's going to win and why he should win. Fuck all the other shit you're talking about because we already know that. You're the only motherfucker that knows what you know about why Rich Swann is going to win. Go ahead.
Because that's wrestling. That's how wrestling works. You want to see stuff like that happen. For months now, Tony Khan has been on AEW acting like a heel in commercials. Kenny Omega's acting like a heel. I mean, they could really do something with this going into the next pay-per-view. Think about it. They don't really have a AEW title match in the next pay-per-view. This could be the title match. Could be, hey, we're going to have this match again. They could have this match 5 pay-per-views. Everybody would get interested. It's something to open up fans. Or the big thing, the third thing, which I think is going to happen. The third thing I think is going to happen is match is going to be a no contest and have a bunch of Impact dudes with AEW dudes attacking. And that looks like it probably was going to be most likely to happen because that's what they do in wrestling. I mean, that's what we do. We want to see these companies battle. So, fine, we're going to have 5-on-5 or something like that.
So you hit on both heads. I mean, I didn't think of the one thing, but the second thing you said, and I'm going to say that now, if Najee was here, he's going to say, or he would say, that's going to be a swerve. We're going to have a no contest, a no winner, some kind of non-finish, and we're going to disappoint the wrestling world because that's what wrestling can do. Does do, right. Because you can't always give the fans what they want. Every time you watch a drama show, every episode, a dude might die that's your favorite character, right? Like Opie in Sons of Anarchy. Right? Everybody loved that's my favorite character in Sons of Anarchy history, right? And they killed Opie. I wanted to boycott that shit for a whole 6 days until on the 7th day that shit came back on. And I watched that motherfucking episode and I kept watching it. They have to do shit like that to keep us roped in. And they have been doing shit like that since I was 6 years old.
Yep.
But again, I always love, as a fan, we're fans, not journalists. We're not insiders or bookers or agents or producers. What we are fans. So as a fan, I think you strike while the iron is hot. We want to see the fly shit. The flyest shit ever is Kenny Omega walking around this motherfucking country on WWE ground with the Impact title, with the AEW title, talking shit as a heel. He ain't no good guy. He's the heel. He's not like, I'm not trying to go on Good Morning America. Fuck your show. I'm Kenny motherfucking Omega. I'm the best wrestler you've ever seen. I'm the best wrestler on the planet. I am motherfucking Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not smoking me. I'm smoking you. Nobody's going to remember you. They're going to remember that you were in a match with me type shit. And who's Roman? He's going to be like, yo, Roman Reigns, fuck your Universal title. That's not even a world title. That's made up. He's going to turn his attention to Bobby Lashley and be like, that's the world title. I'll fuck you up too. He's going to turn his attention to Will Ospreay, who he's beaten, by the way.
Yes, he has.
And that title is what, Chimby? It's merged.
Mm-hmm. It's a merged title.
We are in a new territorial era. We have, let's bring in Ring of Honor's title. That's a territorial title. I know I have the Ring of Honor world title at my house, signed by Cody Rhodes and Jay Lethal on the night that they wrestled each other. With the red back and everything, with the red leather backing and everything. I have that at my house. But that is not a world title to me. I come from a territorial era. That's the Ring of Honor title. That's not the Ring of Honor world. I don't care what it say on the belt. It's a gorgeous belt, and I love it. And it's hanging on my shit, and I'll always cherish it, and I'll never sell it. Because Cody, he signed it as Cody Rhodes and Stardust, actually, on the
Wait,
back of my belt.
what do you consider a world title then?
The WWE World Title that Bobby Lashley has,
Okay.
because that's canon. The New Japan World Title.
Okay.
The AEW World Title.
Okay.
And the Impact World Title. You want to know why?
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you
top
why.
4?
The Impact World Title has canon. Jeff Jarrett first started it was called NWA TNA. It was NWA TNA. Their first world title is canonized with the NWA title.
Yes, it is. I remember that.
So, yes, that's a territory, but their only title, their first, as a company, their first world title was a world title. So if you trace the Impact title to the TNA title, it goes back to the NWA 10 pounds of gold, because that's the first title that was won and defended, and that was Ken Shamrock versus K-Quick, Ron Killings, R-Truth, on their first pay-per-view, and they dropped the pay-per-view every Wednesday for $10, and that was their every week show, and I bought that shit. That's how I know.
This pay-per-view is free, correct?
No, it's on Fight TV. I'll give you my login and password.
Okay, I know it's free.
It's free to you. No, but you know what I'm saying? So that's why Impact's title is actually the son of the NWA title, which is defended on AWA's platform right now. And also the AEW, I say AWA, I'm sorry. The Impact title is being defended and used on AEW, and the NWA title is being defended and used in AEW. All that shit is related. They're trying to merge all this canon wrestling shit, and the winner of all that has to be Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is going to go to New Japan. His big comeback to Japan is already huge. He comes back with the 2 other American world titles to wrestle for the number 2 world title, which is New Japan, against Will Ospreay or whoever the fuck it is, wins G1, whoever it is.
I think that right now,
why should Rich Swann win?
I'm not saying Rich Swann wins. I think it's going to be okay. So if I'm a pie chart about Sunday, I think it's 95% of Swerve, 5% Rich Swann wins.
But why wait? Why wait for another week or another pay-per-view? You're not striking while the iron's hot with a rematch. A rematch is something we've seen before. We've seen this match before. It's just part 2. Fuck that. This is the first time we're seeing something like this now. True. You have to do it now. We're going to find out that Tony Khan buys Impact sooner or later. Yeah. Bro, we have to do this now. This is important.
I think this Swerve will be more interesting
for our culture. This is so important for our culture, bro. And you know how I feel about wrestling.
If they do a Swerve, it's a storyline. It's a big storyline then. They can build off of and have something.
Exactly. Thank you.
Storylines build stars. No. Remember that.
Right.
Yes,
so fuck the Swerve. It's not a big storyline. It's more of a big storyline overall. It's more of a, for lack of a better term, it's more of a universal storyline if Kenny Omega wins. That means we're crossing, like, everybody that's a wrestling fan fucks with Kenny Omega and knows who he is and what he does. Now you're upping his platform. You're actually building up. You're making Kenny Omega more of a star than he already is. How can you not do this now? How can you not?
They've done things before, haven't they?
You can't fuck this up? You got Tony Khan in charge. Tony Khan hasn't fucked it up yet.
Barbed wire deathmatch?
I don't think that was his doing.
Oh, come on. He's the
It
owner.
doesn't
Come
matter
on.
though. Yo, we watched
come
it.
on.
I don't care if you watch it and disagree with it. How many WWE matches we watch and disagree with? We
You're
don't
right.
stop.
You're right. I'll give you that.
Hey,
You're right.
some bad
You're
matches
right.
is around.
You're
It's
right.
cool.
You're right. True. Just
It's
trouble when it's the main
cool.
event. It's just hard when it's the main event.
This is
All
what
right,
I'm
well,
talking about though. When I talk about professional wrestling culture, and that don't get talked enough about on these dumbass podcasts, but this is a fan cast. The professional wrestling culture is us.
Yeah.
Like this,
Fans make it, yeah.
like it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. We're in it, and we love it, and we want to talk about it. We want to go to matches. We're going to spend our money going to shows. We're going to buy so much merch. We're going to wear our merch out with our homies, and people can be like, "What's that? It's a wrestling T-shirt, bitch. Fight me." You know what I'm saying? We're going to fucking I own cable partially because of wrestling. I own wrestling platforms. I'm paying money every day, every month, every year since I was 6. From 6 to 19 years old, my dad took me to wrestling. When I was making enough money, as soon as I made some money, and SmackDown, it was a SmackDown show. SmackDown came to Philly. I took him to wrestling. That was the last wrestling show he went to. He just stopped watching and stopped going or whatever. He's old, but I took him to his last wrestling match, and he took me to my first. My son is 5. His favorite wrestler is Luchasaurus. He's a homegrown organic wrestling fan. I'm going to take him to his first wrestling match. Bro, this shit is incredible. Professional wrestling's culture runs deep. That's why I hate the haters. Everybody can critique matches. Everybody can disagree with storyline, just like we're doing. We got 2 different perspectives on how this wrestling shit can work in our favor as fans. What we're watching. You got Rich Swann winning. I got Kenny winning. That's cool. It's when people bring negativity instead of critique. There's a difference between criticism and negativity.
100%.
When people bring negativity, they bring the culture down, and I'm like, fuck y'all, people, get out my fucking culture. But go ahead. In fact, I think we talked enough about this. So are you really picking Rich Swann? I am officially, my pick for this match is officially Kenny Omega. For the culture.
I'm taking Rich Swann for the culture. There you go.
Oh my God.
Rich Swann. There you go. Yeah, that's my pick.
You know what's dope though? Because both picks is for the culture.
There you go. Exactly.
Let's go.
They both changed a lot of things. And Super Clash. You don't remember Super Clash? Jerry King Lawler versus Kerry Von Erich.
Oh, shit.
Belt for belt. World Class Championship Wrestling belt for the AWA belt at that time. Jerry Lawler was champion back then.
I don't own.
Yeah. So yeah, but okay, so we'll go to the next match. Next match is the Impact Women's Championship. I usually say this person's name wrong, so I'm gonna try to get it right.
Deanna. Shut up, Jimmy. Shut up. Wow. Deanna Purrazzo,
who's the champion, versus Janelle Dashwood. And I'm pretty sure she's gonna have Caleb okay with her, like she usually does. You know, that's who's in her corner right there.
So this is what I'm going to have on, every other pay-per-view or whatever. This is my credibility match of the night. This match is to keep pushing Deanna Purrazzo. Her character, she's so good. And I think, she's so good. We don't know how good she is. I don't think she knows how good she is. She's a huge star. I think Deanna Purrazzo is the reason why they felt comfortable with letting Taya Valkyrie go. That's a fact. Impact is on their way to having the best women's division in wrestling. They're about to claim their, have a claim to fame. And I think this is the perfect person to have leading the charge because it's believable. She's really cool. You know what I mean? She looks different. She's great on the microphone. She doesn't pull no punches. This is like if Ronda Rousey was an independent wrestler who worked her way up. You know what I mean? Because I'm one of the few people or the many who looks at Ronda Rousey's WWE career as fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? I loved her run. I loved it. And I'm not saying it just because I was a UFC fan, because I was actually down on her for getting beat the fuck up. But she definitely came back in my eyes as a superstar. And I think Deonna Purrazzo is a perfect example of, if somebody like Ronda Rousey with the perfect combination of athleticism, background, experience, and personality and charisma came in and wrestled from the ground up and made it to this point, doesn't shy away from it, and is ready to lead the charge, and then you put her against somebody like, I'm going to call her Emma, right? Somebody who's well established, who's been around, who everybody knows who she is, and can work a hell of a match and can sell is good and make that girl look even better. I think this is just another step and a stepping stone of what we're going to see more of Deonna. And again, I mean it by, this is my credibility match of the night, because this is give her more credibility. This is more of the push. It's like Roman Reigns to a way lesser scale. This is the big dog push. Go ahead.
I don't think it is. I think this is something different that they do at Impact. So what they do at Impact, something I like, is a lot of their women are homegrown in two different ways. One, they're either from there, or say they didn't have a good time WWE, they come to Impact and they can really reinvent themselves, be somebody new. That's what Tenille Dashwood has been doing this past year. She's a completely new character. She's somebody completely new. So once again, we're going to disagree, because I think she's going to take the belt on Sunday. I think she's really going to take the belt and really surprise people. And also then
Stop.
The champion.
Stop. Wait. No, stop.
Nobody battled her.
Jimmy,
only somebody new.
Stop. You just had this woman blow up. Like, she just blew up and got the belt. She just got pushed. Do you think they're going to flip the script that damn quick? Come on. Like, they're not that fucking stupid. Go ahead, man. Come on, man.
She got the belt back in wintertime, man. She got the belt back in wintertime a long time ago, and they've had nobody beat her. So if somebody does beat her, they can now start a new feud and rivalry. They have nobody to beat her. I mean, not Su Yung or nobody. Like, Su Young's not even, like, around much anymore. You know? So they need somebody. If she just comes in.
So you give it to Emma? No.
Who else going to give it to? Tell me who else to give it to. That's not involved in that feud right now. Who else do you give it to?
You put her up against Rosemary in a long, dramatic, cinematic feud, bro.
Rosemary's like in a stable now, not really wrestling.
You know what I mean? They need to. If Tony Khan, look, I'm thinking there's a lot of things, and maybe hindsight is 2020. The reason why Moose didn't win against Rich Swann, so you don't put Moose against Kenny Omega now.
No.
For later storylines, right? For storyline purposes. Because we're all going to forget about Moose versus Rich Swann if it's Kenny Omega versus Moose. But what I'm saying is, to a lesser degree, I think they're going to keep things the way they are until let's establish what we're doing. And you have her in place. Let her keep winning and build her up. Don't put her against these crazy dream matches. And I'm like, let her beat up the division.
I think she's beat up the division already. It's time for somebody to beat her, and it's going to be
circle back and defend the titles.
I don't know. We're different.
And then look, how good is Impact's tag team division?
I like their tag division. They got a bunch of teams.
It's the best in wrestling, right?
Yeah. I like it a lot.
Impact's women's tag team division is the best in wrestling. So you could break up one of them teams and build a new star against. They can keep it within the company. And if you bring in some AEW shit, you can form some AEW tag teams to come over and compete, or bring an AEW woman to come over and compete in Impact. What if Chris Statlander came over and challenged Deonna Purrazzo? That builds, let that shit rock. I say you keep the belt and you build her up. You know what I'm saying? But yes, officially, again, we're opposites on that one. I do have Purrazzo, and I think that you only didn't pick Perazo because you can't fucking pronounce her name. But that's okay.
No, that's not the reason I pick her. I just feel like it's time for a new star. And Tenille Dashwood's been doing a lot of promo work, looking really good.
Come on.
Give her a chance.
Emma is someone that's an awesome wrestler. I'm going to use Najee's words. She's a great hand. She has name. She has history. She has experience. Her and Paige actually started all this back on NXT. All this women's evolution shit. And she's great, like Natalya, to get somebody over. So, boom. That's why. See, I'm right. You're wrong. Go ahead.
All right. Next match we're going to go to is a men's tag team match. Let's go to that match, actually.
Rematch.
We got the champions, a rematch for the belts. Champions FinJuice, who took the belts from the challengers now, the Good Brothers. So let's hear your thoughts.
I was totally shocked that FinJuice beat the Good Brothers. I thought, and this goes back to what you said, about 15 minutes ago now, Impact does shit different. Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it looks good, and they mean well. They always mean well, right? And it doesn't usually end well. But this is one of those things where I did not expect anything of the sort to happen. So now we're at the rematch. And it's cool because now we got we got some shit behind it. We got some actual meaning behind this match. It's not like it's Good Brothers tag team defending the championship and squashing some other tag team who doesn't have a chance to win. They're the fucking challengers. So I think we get a better match than the first one, actually. I think this match is going to tell a story, and I think they did that. Again, hindsight is 2020. I think they tossed them titles back and forth because not only do they have the best women's tag team division in wrestling, but they have the formula for tag team wrestling right now. Impact right now has their fingers on the pulse of tag team wrestling. So I think this is going to be a catalyst to something we're going to see 6 months, 8 months, a year, 3 months down the road. I think the tag team division, Impact Wrestling, is about to fucking pick up with this match. And I have Good Brothers. Actually, we're going to have a non-ending. Both teams will be protected, and FinJuice will retain. Boom.
Wow. All right. You changed your answer real quick at the end there, huh?
I had to change that shit because as I was talking, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about what you said about Impact doing weird shit. And I harkened back on them doing some weird shit and having Good Brothers lose the title, even though they're in the midst of the whole storyline with the AEW on some off shit. It's cool how we got multiple storylines focused on multiple different things. The Good Brothers are involved in kind of like two different storylines, and they got to deal with their own fucking world title shit. They're not focused. Yeah. Anything could happen. We can get a swerve, a schmoz. I do think that something's going to happen, and we carry on with the tag team division with new juice. You know what I'm saying? With new guys, and I think FinJuice, especially the juice part of FinJuice, has traveled the world, New Japan and all that. U.S. champion over New Japan, right? Beat Cody. We got David Finlay, the son of a legend. I don't think we've been paying enough attention to these dudes. You know what I'm saying?
No, we haven't. No,
and
we haven't.
Impact made us pay attention to them because they're the goddamn champs.
I feel like this.
Hey, and you still protect the Good Brothers with a fuck-up match.
I feel like this is going to be the match for the night. I think this is going to really surprise people. I think both tag teams are really going to go at it. They're going to create a new rivalry once again. I know I've been talking about rivalries a lot, but I think this is something that's not going to stop. But I am feeling different than you because here's the thing. FinJuice is going back to Japan sooner or later.
You think so?
Absolutely. Sooner or later, they're going to go back. They're just visiting right now. They got the belts.
What's wrong with... But why does that deter you when Jon Moxley is still the fucking New Japan U.S. champion?
Because I feel like if Kenny Omega wins the Impact belt, they're going to have their belts and be part of that storyline. Like, yeah, we all champs now. I mean, the Young Bucks have their belts. It's like a big, big thing. It's a big storyline right there. Everybody's got their belts. When people
Why
start
not
losing
see
their
my
belts,
vision? Why not see my
let's do
vision?
that.
Why not see my vision and have FinJuice take the fucking Impact titles to New Japan and defend them and maybe have a match against the fucking New Japan champions against the fucking Bullet Club or some shit like that. With my
I just
favorite
don't
wrestler,
see it
Tama Tonga.
happening.
No. You don't
I
see
don't
that
see it
happening?
happening. No, I
Ooh,
don't. I
crazy.
don't see it
I do.
happening. That's too much. That's too much. The impact's down in like
See the
Tennessee.
vision, turn on the lights, bro. You got to turn the lights on to see the
Impact's
vision.
down in like Tennessee. Japan's like the other side of the world. That's a really far
You got to
way
turn the
to
lights
travel.
on, man.
Can't do it. No, I'm
turn
sorry.
the lights on, man.
The Good Brothers. I picked the Good Brothers to win that match. They're
You don't
getting
think
the belts
Gato and Tony Khan ain't texting back and forth?
No, not right now. Not yet.
Crazy.
Someday maybe, but
you
not
crazy
right
than 10 niggas. Look, I'm gonna tell you why you crazy as fuck. Because John Moxley is still the U.S. champion. So the IWGP U.S. champion. And the IWGP, this is why I love it. Ain't got nothing to do with the International Wrestling Grand Prix United States champion. That shit is international. The first letter is international. Why can't we merge that shit with everybody? If they did it right, that could be the new NWA. It's already the second best title in wrestling. They could turn that. They could merge all four of them into some new territory NWA shit and fight Vince. That's how you fight Vince.
That's how it can happen, but I don't think it'll happen.
You fight Vince by teaming. You have to jump that pussy. Y'all got to gang up on him and whoop his ass. That's the only way. Imagine one show that covers all 4 shows. A 3-hour show once a week, and all those companies get an hour. Damn.
I would love for that to happen, but that probably won't happen.
See, we fans.
That's how life is.
See, we some fantasy. You know us. We some fantasy bookers, motherfucker. We'll fantasy own in a second. All right. So
you picked FinJuice.
I got a Smiles. No, I got a no contest. FinJuice keeps the belt.
Okay, FinJuice keeps the belts. I got the Good Brothers going to win. Let's move to the next match. Next match, we got the women's Impact Tag Team Championship. We got Fire and Flavor, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele versus Jordynne Grace and a mystery opponent that Jazz is going to pick. So let's talk about this match.
I have a lot to unpack on this match. This is my favorite match of the night. I've been waiting for this match. I do not. First, let me preface this for the fans, for you, Chimby, for Najee, for Reggie, for the Raw crew. I do not give a fuck who the mystery partner is. Okay? I'm just prefacing that. So let's get to the match. I love this match because everybody in here can work. Jazz, this is what I think. So let's get to it. And we talked about this in the pre-show. Well, the pre-production meeting, actually. We talked about this. I personally think this is going to be Jazz's last match. I think the mystery opponent, the mystery tag team partner with Jordynne Grace, is going to be Jazz. And this is going to be her last match. And not only will she put on a good match, and it'll be important, we have 2 black women who are champions. You have Jazz. Jazz is the Booker T of female wrestling. Period. Find me another black woman as decorated and has more wins and has done more. And when you say that name, you're getting your ass whooped. It's Jazz. Yes. She's the Booker T. She's the female Booker T. We're going to call her Hooker T. We got Samoa Ho and Hooker T, bro. All right, so, but no, all jokes aside, Jazz, not only is she the Booker T of wrestling, as in the greatest African-American or black, as I like to say, female wrestler in history, but she's top 5, dead or alive, best female wrestlers in history. You go out on your shield and you go out on an important match. she's going to go out putting over 2 black women who's just passing the torch to. 2 black women who watched her as little girls. 2 black women who wouldn't beat her without her. I know I'm talking like Najee right now, but yo, I feel it too. I feel like this match is more important than we know especially after we just saw Bianca and Sasha main event WrestleMania. I'm telling you right now, Jazz is getting pinned by Kiera Hogan, and they will retain. We can just fast forward to the official ending. I just broke it down why, and it will be so awesome. I might shed a fucking tear, even though I know it's going to happen. Go ahead, Chimpy.
All right, so here's what I think. This is a match on the card, the most predictable match. Here's what I think is going to happen. Jazz is going to come out. Jazz is going to wrestle? Like, no, ODB. And ODB is going to come out, and ODB is going to be Jordan Grace's partner.
So
they're going to lose the match because of Jordan Grace doing something, some miscalculation. ODB and her are going to brawl. Fire and Flavor are going to win, and they're going to walk out, who they are, the champions. Like, they're not going to lose. It doesn't make sense. A lot of things like in the women's division, a lot of matches look like the champion could lose, but in the women's tag team division, they're not losing right now. Nobody's going to beat them.
Agreed.
Nobody.
Period.
They're too good. They worked, and the best thing is, I remember years ago, it's crazy now thinking about it, watching Kiera Hogan as a rookie. I was like, man,
Ember Moon
some work.
Ember Moon stole her gimmick.
She worked. She got there. She got to the top, and she's still like every time I see them, they're doing cutters or something off the ropes. I'm like, Jesus, doing Pentagon and Ray Phoenix moves. What the heck is this? So I give them props. They're not going to lose.
And this is kind of dope as a fan cast, because we both agree that Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz is going to win a match and retain for obvious reasons, but we disagree on how it's going to happen, because you said ODB is coming down. I say it's Jazz's last match, the ultimate pass the torch. Next match, Tim.
Next match, the X Division Championship, which we got Ace Austin, who's the champion, versus Josh Alexander versus TJP. Which, I mean, it's sad.
Hold on, I got to give it to y'all. I have to ask, first of all, before I give you this, who the fuck is Josh Alexander? I watch Impact, and I know who he is, all right? Fans, I know who the fuck he is, all right? I've seen him wrestle. It wasn't rhetorical. Peep the context of what I'm asking you. Just like the Cruiserweight fucking title in WWE. What are we doing with this belt? And who are we putting? How many X Division matches are we going to see TJP in? This is the Impact's problem. Chimpy, how many times we've seen Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards wrestle?
Too many to list.
Stab me in the head with a spork next time they wrestle, okay? So I can just go to the hospital so I can miss the match. How many fucking matches X Division matches are we going to get? Mantis or Suicide or TJP in the fucking match? All right, so you're not 3 different people. Okay, so they fooled me one time. Remember we had we were practicing the podcast, and I was like, damn, they got Suicide and TJP, or TJP and Mantis. That's cool. But they're not twins. Like, that's one nigga. TJP is 3 people. That's why I drafted all 3 of them in our fantasy draft. I was like, fuck it, he wrestling every week, right? I'm so sick of this motherfucker. I was sick of him. And I think he's a good wrestler. I think he works real good. I think one of his characters, if you figured it out, would work. I don't like his little bitch-ass personality. He's a fucking a crybaby. Like, he's like if Bret Hart wasn't good. You know what I mean? Even though he is good, he thinks way too much of him. He takes himself way too fucking seriously, and it's annoying as hell. Like, he gets so down on himself that he wants you to feel sorry for him. Like, pussy, you ain't Daniel Bryan. I feel sorry for him that he don't get his due. I'm not worried about you getting your due because you're corny as fuck. So it's funny. The rest of these matches aren't as important, and I'm going to surprise some people with this. But yes, the X Division title match gets my fuck that match of the night. Go ahead, Shan.
Yeah, well, it's really sad what they're doing with the X Division belt. Like, they could go out and get talent. They could move people around, put Crazy Steve in the match or something like that. But these past few X Division matches they've had, they've kind of just clumped a lot of people together, and they're not really having any storyline or nothing. So this match, the only thing I'm going to say that's been good.
No, they got a storyline. Yo, TJP is like Matt Jackson's back. His back injury,
but
right?
it's
just like you're just gonna rehash this. You put TJP in every X Division championship, and that's your storyline. This is what we do. Exactly. We're Impact. We're gonna stick this dickhead in every. Like, why?
Well, I do like the one thing I do.
They can't find nobody. How about just have a one-on-one? It could be Josh Alexander versus Ace Austin. I'm watching it.
The Impact champion, though, I give him props. Ace Austin has worked his ass off to get where he's at.
Who's Josh Alexander, bro, to you?
Josh Alexander, to me, is a worker, but that's about it. He don't got nothing else. Like, he kind of wears old gear. He doesn't get on the mic.
This match is so stupid.
He's just a worker. So, yeah, I'm not excited about this match. I pick Ace Austin to win.
Ace Austin's going to win.
I don't really care about this match.
He's going to pin Josh Alexander, actually, I think.
Probably.
Because they're going to keep protecting TJP until he wins back the fucking title. You know what I mean?
For now.
Let me ask you this. So let me ask you this to a broader and more important extent. Are they fucking up and diminishing this X Division title that has a great lineage? I can take it back to Amazing Red and even Suicide, right? Like, the X Division title has had some awesome matches, Ultimate X and all that shit. Are we fucking this title up?
I would say, yeah, 100%. They're really not knowing what to do. It's almost like somebody inherited Impact a couple of years ago, and the first thing they were looked at, like, wait, what's the best belt we got? Oh, we got this X Division belt. It's really good. We have a lot of great champions, which a lot. I mean, you can go down the list. AJ Styles. There's a million different people who've had a belt. Christopher Daniels.
Fucking low key.
Yeah, but what they're doing with the belt now is kind of just they don't know what they're doing with it. They don't know what to do, and it's really sad. If they would have clumped those guys together in a ladder match or something like that and got new stars out of it, it would have helped. Instead, they just clumped everyone together in a match. It's like, yeah, we don't got anything for you. This is all we got for you guys. Good luck. Go ahead and do what you want. There's no storyline or nothing. It's sad.
Let me ask you this: was the X Division better with 6 sides?
I would say, yeah, it was. Absolutely. Right. It was a miss that ring. That ring was wonderful. It built something different.
As fans and fantasy bookers, and you know how we do when we talk offline, like, what's wrong with having the only 6-sided ring matches or X Division matches? Oh.
I mean, that would be great to do. It'd just be a lot of work for them. You know, that's one thing.
Tony Khan's about to get that shit. So X Division matches will be so special, you'd have to have 2 rings.
I hope so.
Let's go. So officially, so we both know Ace Austin is pinning Josh Alexander.
Yeah.
Next match.
Nothing more to say about that. All right, next match we have is a
Sami
last man standing. You're right. Last man standing. Sami Callihan and Trey Miguel. Not Eddie Edwards this time. Trey Miguel. New feud. Good time.
So I'm really and again, I'm so sick of Sami versus Eddie, but I'm not sick of Sami versus anyone else in the hardcore match. Sami Callihan puts on a motherfucking show in a hardcore match, and I'm not mad at him. I don't even like the dude. I don't like him going back to the original Eddie Edwards fucking shit where he dropped the baseball bat on my man I, but I actually met him in person, and he's a dope dude. He's a regular dude. He's not like his character, but we're fans. So as a fan, I'm like, I don't like Sami Callihan, but I definitely want to watch his matches because he's so good at hardcore matches. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see Sami Callihan go to one fall, 20-minute time limit DQ and 10-second count out shit. I don't want to see that from him. But I want to see some cage match, fucking barbed wire, fucking hardcore last man standing type of match that we can see. And I think this is an opportunity to, at least for Sami Callihan, to show me as a fan that he can put a young dude over, make that young dude look good, and see if they can make Trey Miguel what he's advertised. Jim?
I mean, this storyline's been happening since
saying.
the Rascals left. Since the Rascals left TNA, it's been a long time now, or Impact, excuse me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's been a long time. This angle's been happening, and I wasn't a fan, just like you, of Sami Callihan, Eddie Edwards. I think it kind of wore off. This storyline I love. Sami Callihan's
I like this
becomes
match.
something new. Gets in Trey Miguel's face, tells him he's not a singles wrestler. This and that, kind of really playing on real life kind of scenario. Usually, when real life scenarios happen in pro wrestling in an angle, it's really good. You look at Macho Man getting upset about people touching Elizabeth, stuff like that.
Ric Flair.
This is yeah, exactly. Ric Flair acting like the pimp he is. But stuff like that really works out. And this is the last man standing match. I think this pay-per-view is going to be something that even Kenny Omega does win both the belts. It's going to be something about
bro.
showing a lot of
pay-per-view.
It's going to be showing a lot of stars, people that people haven't seen. It's on Fight TV. A lot of people haven't watched. Last Impact pay-per-view, I think, was 2 months ago. Or last Impact.
It just happened.
No. Last AEW pay-per-view. Last
AEW, right.
Was 2 months ago. The last Impact pay-per-view was a month ago, but it wasn't that big. It wasn't that big.
Right.
This is a big pay-per-view. It's going to show a lot of stars, and there'll be a lot of people watching AEW are going to be watching this. This is the match people are going to watch. Like, wow, look at those two guys go at it. This is going to be either the opener or midway through when people are like, really enjoying the pay-per-view. This is going to open up a lot of people. Like, this match is going to get people to watch Impact on Thursday that don't watch Impact on Thursday. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to touch on two things you just said because you made two great points. Number one, you're going to get mad people looking at different aspects of this paper. Like, we're fresh off of WrestleMania, right? And we talked about it in the WrestleMania recap about creating new stars. This match is creating a new star, I think. This is Impact's version of creating a new star, Trey Miguel. Again, what's the formula for a successful tag team? Right, we always call them player one and player two, right? So, but this is a different kind of angle. But when you build people out of stables and tag teams and you identify the one you want, you got to try to make a new star. I think Sami Callihan helps that. I got Trey Miguel going over and being made a new star. You know what I'm saying? And the second thing you said, I think we're going to look back on this pay-per-view. And I think we're doing it justice now on the pre-show, on the preview. But we're going to look back on this pay-per-view when it's over, I think. And this is going to be a very important pay-per-view going. Like, as time goes on, this pay-per-view will prove to be more and more and more important in the history of wrestling because maybe I'm crazy, but I think we're about to cross over into a new generation. See, in wrestling, we never know when the next generation is, right? Like, we can count backwards or count forwards. The territory era, and then you had the big man, the muscle-bound era. Then you had going into
Monday Night Wars.
The Superstars era,
yeah.
Right? Then you had the Monday Night Wars era, Attitude and NWO and all that. Then you had Get the F Out, right? What was that? That was a turnover. And then you had Ruthless Aggression, right? The Aggression era. We're in the Universal era now, right? I think I think the Universal era has run its course because I think now people are so hip to international wrestling, and now the wrestling world is getting smaller professionally and fan wise because the internet and social media has allowed everybody to now watch all the shows whenever they want. And on top of that, now we're seeing people adapt to different things professionally. Impact and AEW merging with Kenny Omega. Chris Jericho on WWE programming being interviewed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. That means something to our culture.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we are on the precipice of the new generation, and I'll be the first one to say it. I listen to a lot of podcasts. There are no fan casts because we have the only one. But I listen to a lot of podcasts, and no one's talked about this. And I've been thinking about this in my head. I'm like, I'm 43, bro. I've been watching wrestling since 1983. I've seen generation after generation after generation because I've never stopped watching. When I was in college, away at Kutztown, my first year, my freshman year in Kutztown, we couldn't get no signals or no cable. My dad sent me Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Nitro on VHS every week. I was a week behind, but fuck it, we ain't had internet like that anywhere in 1996. So I wasn't missing nothing. He sent me the VHSs, and I never stopped watching. He ordered pay-per-views, and it would send me the tape. Because I was a kid in college, and he was my dad. I've never stopped watching. I've seen generation after generation after generation after generation after generation after generation, and I bought tickets. I've been there in front row, and I'm still here. And I'm saying we're on the precipice of a new unnamed generation. Actually, if y'all listen to this podcast, put in the comments what the name of this generation is supposed to be. What is this generation? You can't keep calling it modern wrestling, right? We keep calling it modern wrestling. That's whack. It's always modern wrestling. Any generation is going to have modern wrestling because that's all that the fuck is at the time. It's modern. Modern means right now. It doesn't mean like we're embarking on some new shit. We're just right now. Nah, we're in a generation, bro. They don't call us modern generations. I'm Gen X. You're Generation Z. That's behind you are a bunch of millennials. My son is Generation Alpha. We're separated by generations. So is wrestling. What's the next match? Wait, what's the
wait? Who'd you pick? I picked Trey Miguel to win that match.
So right, so they're creating a new star match.
Yeah, creating a new star. Trey Miguel. He's gonna look mate. This it's gonna be a really good match. I mean, I'm just gonna speak a little bit about this against with a high flyer versus street fighter. We've seen that stuff happen so many times, and they're really gonna bring it down. It's gonna be a good match. All right, next match is Matt Cardona, who we know is Zack Ryder in WWE, versus Brian Myers, who we also know as Kurt Hawkins in WWE.
I think you keep pushing Matt Cardona. I think Matt Cardona wins the match. When you look at fans who are just going to tune in for Swan versus Omega, or fans who might just tune in on Fight TV just because they have nothing else to watch, or fans who might tune in because they recognize the Good Brothers from New Japan, whatever it is, you put a recognizable face on there. They may read the card and not know that Matt Cardona is Zack Ryder, but when they get to that match, they're like, oh, that's Zack Ryder. So you don't want them to lose. This is like one of Impact's only way to bring in casual fans and non-fans with this pay-per-view. And I think if you do that as a, business-wise, even though this is probably going against Impact's mantra, because they usually do the opposite of the right business practice. But I think what's best for business, for lack of a better term, is you have Matt Cardona go over, because he's the recognizable guy to the most casualist fan. Because this pay-per-view, after it happens, is going to draw more fans to the pay-per-view than when it happens. What you got for that?
Yeah, Matt Cardona's got to win. It doesn't make sense to have him not win. And you're right. There's going to be a lot of people on this pay-per-view watching it that never watched Impact before, so it really helps out. But this is something interesting. If you don't remember, bringing in WWE, Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins, or Zack Ryder, whatever you want to call it, Matt Cardona, were both Edge. The Edge, remember they were dressed up as Edge? The Edge heads. So this is the battle of the Edge heads. And I think this is going to be a match that people are going to kind of be like, yeah, whatever, who cares? But I think it's going to be actually a really good match. Two guys that know how to work.
Let's think about that, though. Match. So when you look at Brian Myers' role in WWE, didn't he, like, his gimmick was to lose matches?
Yes.
He was getting beat in the modern era. I hate using that term. This generation, motherfuckers, is not the modern era. Every era is the modern era. Stop calling it the modern era. But in this modern era, Brian Myers was the jobber motherfucker in the last 10 years. Like, his streak of jobbing was epic. It's a shame we have a podcast back then. We don't have a podcast. We have fan casts because we're not bookers, not journalists. But it's a shame we have a fan cast back then because we would be like counting we'd be counting that shit because we love jobbers here, by the way, on the fan cast. And Barry Horowitz, if you're listening, tell your agent to get fucking back to me and call me back because our first interview is you, my brother. And Paul Roma, I can't wait to talk to you. Because you're a fucking jobber too, nigga. Yeah, Paul Roma's a jobber. He ain't gonna like that, but he ain't that big and old.
I'll try to edit that part out.
No, why? I know Italian dudes that'll slap the shit out of Paul Roma. Don't edit that out, Najee. But what I'm saying is this dude was a huge jobber in WWE, and Matt Cardona had the underdog vibe. He had like the hero underdog vibe, and he finally got his moments and shit. He's not losing to this guy. I'm taking Zack Ryder.
Yeah, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona is going to win. And then our last match of the pay-per-view, I wonder what they're going to do. We got VBD, Violent by Design, Eric Young, Rhino. Rhino's now with him. Eric Young, Rhino, Cody Deaner, and Joe. God,
you got Willie Mack, James Storm.
Willie Mack, and on the other side, you got Willie Mack, James Storm, Chris Sabin, and God, I forgot the last dude. Why am I forgetting?
Eddie Edwards, man. What are you talking
Eddie
about?
Edwards. There you go. But,
all right, so
go ahead. Oh well, here's one thing to think about this match is Eric Young tore his ACL recently. Mm-hmm. So they're probably gonna have to mess around with the match or add somebody to it or something like that.
They'll protect him. I think they'll just protect him during the match because Eric Young knows how to work injured. This match, I don't know the order. I expect this match to be the opener to get everybody hot. I think this is to get the fans hot, whether it's at home. Are they doing this in person? Like, are they having the actual fans at this? Or this is...
I don't think so.
Right.
They've had some recently, but not.
I think this
I don't know. I don't really know.
I think this is to get the fans at home heated for a good pay-per-view. If you put on a fast-paced, hard-hitting match, and these some fast-paced, high-flying, hard-hitting mat wrestling motherfuckers in this match. I mean, look at the names, man. You got Chris Sabin, Edwards, James Storm, and Willie Mack on one team. So it doesn't even matter who the other team is, right? Normally, because you know they're going to be hard-hitting, fast-paced, high-flying. But then you throwing in Eric Young, Deaner, Joe Doring, and Rhino. Even though Eric Young is injured, we're getting a fucking spear from Rhino, right? Like, we're getting high spots. I mean, we're getting hard hits, fast-paced action. Doesn't matter who wins this match. Obviously, I'm picking Sabin, Edwards, Storm, and Willie Mack, but who cares? I think this is to get that crowd hot match of the night. I think this is the first match of the night. You got to put this first. You either put this match first or second to last. You know what I mean? Like a filler match, but you put some crazy shit on. But I think this match is first, honestly. And I'm picking the Sabin team. I'll ask you something after you make your pick, but where the fuck is Alex at?
Oh, Alex Shelley?
Yes.
He got injured a while ago. I don't. Here's the thing about Alex Shelley. He makes more money working on video games, like doing the fight moves
The
in video
mocap?
games.
You mean the mocap?
Yeah, he makes more money doing that now than being a wrestler. He kind of. I think he got injured a while ago. When I don't know. I don't know if we'll see him again.
All right.
Who knows?
We'll talk about the match real quick. What do you think?
Yeah,
about
so I'll
this?
talk about this. I think this match is going to be great. Like this match is going to be one of the matches people are like, "Wow, I forgot about this match." And I think it could be the opener. If it's not, it's either second or third match of the night. It's going to be a really good match. Violent by Design. If you don't know about them, they've been running. They're the only stable in Impact. They've been running shot through everyone. They've been putting people through tables. Eric Young's yelling at Joe to come on, powerbomb him. All right, powerbomb through table. So they look amazing. And I think out of all the teams and all the people wrestling this match, you got to see Violent by Design wins. They look beasts. They're destroying everybody. Other teams going to look great, but I think Violent by Design wins.
Question.
I think they're going to keep running through.
Let me ask you a question.
Until they get to where they want to go.
You know, I got to stop you right there and ask you a question because this is what I do. You don't think if you have Sabin, Eddie Edwards, and them win, that doesn't create a future storyline, maybe, or a future stable, maybe? Because Impact, we love their tag team divisions, but they don't have stables. Do you think this is their way into the stable game?
I think the way in the stable game is having Violent by Design. If we turned on AEW one night,
but that
we saw Violent by Design.
You just said that's their only real stable.
Yeah,
so of course they're going to beat everybody if that's their only real stable because they're a team. Like teamwork make the dream work. So to combat that, you have to have another real stable. And how do you build another real stable better than creating a new real stable by beating the only established real stable in a pay-per-view this important?
I think that they're not going to have, they don't want to build another stable. If you have this one stable crushing everybody, it's easier for them to crush everybody, run rough shot, and go to AEW. Imagine them go to AEW. You saw them saw Rhino put anybody through a table. Put half the inner circle through a table. There's a lot of things to do with it.
Yo, fucking Rhino versus Luchasaurus is primetime must-watch TV.
Exactly. There you go. Exactly.
You're right.
So you don't want to ruin. You don't want to ruin
Dark Order
right
shit.
Now.
Ew, Dark Order versus Violent by Design. Ooh.
See, they would need all 9 members.
Here we go with the fantasy booking. So, I'm gonna use this real quick. I'm gonna stop you right there, Chimby, to give a shout out to our sponsor, King's Cannabis, out there in Eugene, Oregon. If you smoke weed or if you use it for medication and all that shit, I don't know. We don't live in a legal state. We live in a legal medical state. But in Eugene, Oregon, you can buy that shit no matter who you are, as long as you're 21 or over or some shit like that. So if you are and you do smoke, go get King's Cannabis from your local Eugene dispensary. They have everything that you want. High THC content, dope-ass terps. They got the myrcene, the lima cream, and the polynine, and all that fly shit. King's Cannabis, Eugene, Oregon. Follow them on Instagram and I believe Facebook. But holla at your boy. Back to a regular scheduled program. Chimby, let me ask you this. How important, not only is this pay-per-view for Impact Wrestling, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I also don't want to be playing around with hindsight after we watch the pay-per-view, though. So we're in the moment right now, right before the pay-per-view. Are we embarking on a really important turning point in wrestling, just in general, with this pay-per-view after Mania and with everything that happened there and the fallout in there and everybody there that's storylined up and championed up? With Will Ospreay, after Ibushi merges titles, after all that, Rich Swann beats Moose to get fed to Omega. So let's just say he's getting fed to Omega, and for Omega to compete with Roman Reigns as the biggest single star in wrestling, and Impact trying to do, finally, trying to really stamp themselves as a major player, like with their ratings, like the ratings are going to go up. And if Tony Khan buys it like we think with the merger, this might be a catalyst paper. This might be some history type shit going on. Do you agree?
I agree. I agree 100%. I think this is a really big pay-per-view. We enjoyed, I know a bunch of us on the Raw crew page, and it's not fake fan cast. We agreed that we loved WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
We really enjoyed it. But a lot of people in the internet world, because I look at a lot of different things people were saying.
Get out my culture.
A lot of people did not enjoy it. A lot of people
Get out
did
my
not
culture.
enjoy it. So I feel like this pay-per-view is something that people will enjoy, and it'll be a big thing. And people will be, they're going to be waiting until that main event. There's, you watch some pay-per-views, you're like, yeah, I'm not really interested in this main event because blah, 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 blah. This main event is huge. It's a big thing happening.
This is like watching a UFC pay-per-view and the main event is Conor McGregor, or the main event is John Jones, or this is the old school, this is the main event is a Tyson fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, we're waiting for Kenny Omega to change wrestling. I know you predicted Rich Swann as a wrestling fan.
Yes.
And you made a great case for Rich Swann as a wrestling fan. Kenny Omega is going to change wrestling on Saturday. Or they switch it to Sunday. Kenny Omega is going to change the landscape of wrestling. He's already who he is, bro. He's already Kenny Omega. He's the only wrestler that we all had on our last top 5. There's going to be a power shift. A gradual, organic power shift if Kenny Omega wins the Impact World title on Saturday. Then, are you watching Dynamite on Wednesday, that following Wednesday, motherfucker? Of course you are. And guess what? Didn't they move to Thursday, Impact? Yes,
they did.
We're back to back in them nights. You ain't got to wait to see Kenny Omega again. You see him on Wednesday and Thursday, then on Wednesday again. He's going to defend titles on 2 separate companies' pay-per-views. 2 separate titles. That's some Ric Flair going to territory type shit. He's doing some best all-time shit right now. And I'm not the biggest Kenny Omega fan, but this shit is groundbreaking. It's a fact.
I mean, it's gonna be a huge pay-per-view that I think a lot of people aren't going to see it coming and how good it is. It's really going to help. It's going to help Impact out. AEW has been helping them out.
It's going to help Kara Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Whoever hasn't watched, if you're an AEW fan and you haven't watched Impact, you're going to see that tag team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get to see Jazz again. Yeah, we're going to see some shit. It's all hands on deck on this pay-per-view too. And they had to squeeze, they put people in matches. Fuck TJP. Not you, but everyone else. Right? Like, you're cool. You get the TJP, like, fuck you. You're cool. No, I'm not hating on TJP, but I am. You know what I mean? Fight me. He's like the Filipino Isaiah Swerve Scott, except he wins a bunch of matches.
Oh, man.
Like, they should be a tag team called Corny. All right, so we're going to end this off. Everybody, we thank you for listening. Malakimbi Jones, nickname so cool, he don't need a nickname. What you got to end off with, man? Final thoughts.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Hopefully enjoy the pay-per-view and tune in for the next episode when we'll have all of our wonderful friends we usually have on here.
Yeah, we see you in a couple days with the full cast. We will be reviewing the whole week of wrestling, Raw, Dynamite, NXT, SmackDown. We already previewed Impact, so you won't hear that shit. This is going to happen afterwards. But you will also get a post-breakdown of Impact. We will see you later. Oh, what a rush. Talk to y'all. Peace.